July 6th, 23. It's time to take a look. So in 90 days, which will be October 6th, everything in here you see will be ripe or have ripened. And that would mean that little fig right there will ripen by October 6th, or there and about, so around October 6th. So all of these other figs, bigger figs, will ripen. This is White Madeira number 1 in ground. It's about 7 foot tall and about probably 7 foot wide or so, 8 foot wide. It's wide. Even the runners out there got figs on them. We've got a couple white Adriatics here. It's got some figs on it. That's supposed to be a white Adriatic, and that's supposed to be a white Adriatic. Boy, yeah, I don't know about that. Guess we'll see which is which. This looks closer to the White Madeira, as you can see there. So I've got a few varieties that I'm kind of questioning if they are what they're supposed to be, but I'm gonna keep growing and find out. They'll just be an unknown whatever. Raven DeCalces. They got quite a few on them. The Green Mitchkarinska. That's a cool little tree. Somebody ought to buy that. I've got a bunch of these younger trees. This is LSU Strawberry. It's got a few figs on it. I just bought it this year. Couple different things. I don't know what some of these are. That one there is Blanc de Saison. Got some on it. I got a bigger tree of it. There's a young White Madeira number 1. There's a Figoin. Thinking about putting some air layers on this one limb. Maybe help this one bulk up a little more. LSU Hollier. It's got all kinds of figs on it, which is good because this is my in-ground LSU Hollier, and its figs are further behind. Well, it might have some. No, I don't think it's got none near that big, because they don't tend to get fruit on them quite as early when they got to grow back from the ground. This, that's a pretty good sized tree. It's right at 6 foot tall and probably 8 foot wide. The LSU Tiger. Got loads of figs on it. Another LSU Tiger. Bunch of LSU Stank varieties. There's LSU Scots Black. So Vorp. It ought to be ripening before too long. This is Coral Black. It's got figs on it. I mean, it's not overly loaded. It didn't really fig early, but then after it got growing, it's got figs on it. My Ronde Bordeaux. Quite a few on it. Step back and look at that tree. There's this coral black. I have to back up and look at it. It's only about 4 by 5. It's a good sized tree. I'm gonna hopefully not have to do too much pruning to this one. I ought to pinch it and see if it'll slow its growth down some. Another RDB in a bag. Here's an improved Celeste. Figs on it. This is like an LSU purple. This is LSU gold. This is blue Ashia. I wondered if it was similar to Celeste, but it ain't nothing like my blue Celeste. And then I've got this brown turkey that they don't seem to be nothing like it either. So I'm kind of interested. I think I'm going to have to put an air layer on it and put it out in the ground. This is a white Triana. Got some big fish. I need to go through and feed all my trees this weekend with some 0-10-10. This is Memorial Day Caneva from Nikki. Full. This is Pico Seco from Dan Foster. Looks about the same. Skipped over this is LSU Scots Yellow. Got some on it. This thing here is just covered. This 9 foot, 8 foot tall, 8 foot, 9 foot wide, huge. This is yellow long neck. And remember, it grows from, this thing grows from dieback. Get that all the way back. You can see the stump in the ground right there. Look at the figs on here. They're everywhere. Every node. The champion. There's doubles there. Yeah, this is a champion. Macedonia Dark. Loaded. There's a Montanica Ramada. Ponce Tressa. Another Ponce Tressa. Sorry. Not shy about fruiting. Black Greek. This is an unknown Mount Etna. I got it from Mountain Figs. This Malta Black. This is a Tacoma Violet. Got a 1 gallon air layer on it. I'm going to put it out in the ground. It's just loaded. This is Cavalieri. It's kind of, top of it died, so the part that lived looks good, and it's loaded with fruit. It's a really good fig. I'll put it in the ground to see what it does. See how it does. Hardy Chicago over here. My oldest, one of 3 of my oldest trees. This one's 6 years old. Seven years old. This is his twin brother. It's just absolutely loaded. And then there's a whole bunch of these back over here. These are all Hardy Chicagos, Mount Etna types. All in 5 gallons. They're just all full of fruit. Somebody around here decided they wanted one, looking for a tree. I got some. Can't ship, don't really, it's a little expensive to ship that big. Ship small trees. Whole bunches of them still. Alright, so this is Super Jumbo. And it's just kind of growing on the ground. This is the way it kind of come up. I didn't trellis it. Hey, you know, that low cordons itself, it's full of fruit. Petite Negra. Got fig mosaic virus pretty bad. May prune it back and see if that helps it. Here's a Nero 600 that it did help. This is a Blanche de Duzazon. This is Santa Rosa. Got a few on it. Rubber. We got over here. We'll do a little looking over here. We'll come back up that middle. Constantine Dave got years. It ain't got no fruit on it at all. So I will probably, oh, I lied. Look at there. It does got a couple, but it has not been very prolific about fruiting from dieback. So it's just now starting to get some. There's some more right there on them buds starting to form. Down there you can see. Right there. This is Sultane. It's got 1 or 2 on it. Got a couple here. This is Sultane. This ain't Sultane. What is this? No, that's an unknown. Might be. I don't know. That's Sultane. Large bananas got several. Be looking forward to trying that. This is Remix Gorenska. Doesn't fruit early, but it'll fruit a little later. A little further down these branches earlier, the later growth does. Don't seem to want to fruit real early, but it does got fruit on it now. Got some low cordon started here. Kind of doing exactly what I want it to do, just like that. We're going to build styrofoam boxes over these this year. I'm going to mess around. Get it done by September. Have them ready to go the 1st of October. This is Basilica Sika. It did not set fruit until its growth hardened off. Negra d'Agde. Put it in the ground because it has an unbelievable amount of fruit in it. Hopefully you see how it does in ground. Here's a Verdone from Mario. This is a kind of an Adriatic type. Right next to it is a honey plum. Have yet to get any honey plums to ripen. It's been dropping. Hopefully it'll ripen some. It's got quite a few fruit on it. There's a Smith. This is a Bass's Favorite. It's got a few on it. I just put it in the ground. This is a called a Dom Blanca Negra. Oops. It's got quite a few figs on it. I have one of those in the ground right there as well. I just put it in the ground. It's got some figs on it. It ripens fairly early and it is delicious. Next we have here Sapphire 4. I decided to put it in the ground. I got some off of it last year. It was really good. It'll drop a few, but it generally seems to ripen most everything. You just get a dropper here and there. This is JH Adriatic. Got some figs on it. This is an in-ground. Started slow cordons. Called a Dom Nori. And it's kind of a later fig. I don't know if I'll get any off of it this year. I'm going to leave it in the ground. And hopefully at some point I can get some figs off of it again. Try to keep it from dying back this winter. This is Secret. The black-budded version. Like Coral Noir. This one here, in ground, Smith from Dieback, and it's not a heavy fruiter, but it sporadically got fruit here and there on it. So hopefully if I keep it from dying back, we got us some low cordons on the ground growing. Hopefully that'll work out better. Black Mantazina. Got quite a few figs on it. Got one of them I put in the ground this year. So we'll see how it does. Okay, there's one of my next oldest trees. That's the rootstock. Is Black Texas Everbearing, but it's got Del Simwami Ron grafted on right here. And it's just really fruiting good. Really a well fruiter for sure. On the other side have Propone. It's equally as prolific on this fruit stock. Very mature rootstock, as you can see. Makes for a very mature tree. One of my favorite trees. I'm not very good at grafting. And I'm just happy. There was another one that didn't take over here. I don't remember what it was, but. Alright, next one is Bourgeois Gris. It's got some figs on it. Here and there. It's not always a heavy fruiter. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a heavy fruiter from dieback the first year, but it does got some decent figs on it. It's a big tree, 5 foot by Probably 5 foot. Alright, a couple black Manthesinas that I rooted this year. They're got figs on them. There's it's a Nero 600 in a bag. I'm letting it root in the ground. We'll see how it does. Another black Manthesina. It's got a few figs on it. This is LSU Champagne. It's got a lot of figs on it. Had to tie it up, it was weighting it over. Another black Manthesina. This is my Iranian Candy. Picked a couple off of it. It's got another one starting to swell. This here, little sad excuses. Turkey. I don't know. I'm debating on whether just to pull it up, put it in a tin. It ain't done too good in the ground here, but we'll see. This is yellow long neck, and then right behind it is golden rainbow. Trying to grow off while I've got to do some work on that tree. Sometimes they just get away from you. Ain't very healthy. I'm gonna rejuvenate, prune it this year. Next tree is, I don't know what that is. Galicia Negra. Got a couple on it. Caldedon Blanc. Loaded with figs. Violet Dauphine. Moscatel Presto. This is Verdone from Nikki. Been dropping. Ain't got to ripen anything. Princessa. Got some figs on it. Vincenzo Mutante. I think that's how you say it. This comes from Nikki. This is Briscoe Rosso from Nikki. Pastelier. It's dropping. Again, maybe it'll ripen a few. I'm gonna get rid of these trees that do that, because a lot of other trees don't. Here's Miscarinska 10 gallon, and I mean it will ripen every fig that you see on here. Miscarinska 10. It doesn't grow very much because it fruits so much. Here's a side-by-side comparisons with Floria. Pretty much equal productivity there. Bergen Unknown. It's had these spots on it this year, I don't know. It's got some fruit, it's got quite a bit of fruit on it for it. It doesn't grow and fruit very well. I may have to up-pot it. Repot it. VDS, Valade Solis. Ain't got nothing on it from dieback. It's supposed to be De La Roca, but I don't know. It's got one on it. I didn't think the fruit looked like it last year, so we'll just see. Dale's Hermitons. It just loves the fruit. Here is Calydon nori. This is Calydon catati. Got a few from dieback. Cabrera Bronca. Go strawberry. Brocolette. Tree just ain't grown very much. It's just in the 7. Here's another tree that ain't grown very much. It's got figs all over it. This is De La Senora Hibernica. This is Rio de Salente. Blue Celeste, little one. Here's a Campaneri. Okay, I got another bigger Campaneri up here we're going to look at in a minute. This is cherry pie. Ain't got no cherry pie, nothing on it. This is, not sure, Fioroni de Brugal. Took me a minute. This is Aurora. Got some figs on it. It didn't completely die back. I've got some air layer set. Maltese Beauty. Brazilian XP. Yeah, got all kinds of figs on it. From dieback. There's some more of the same old, different stuff. Violet Sapor, Super Red Hybrant. This is Red Trim. It don't seem to, it didn't quite fruit and grow like the red, like Brazilian XP and Super Red Hybrant. This Red Trim is a little different. I mean, it does got figs on it, but it did not fig near as prolific or want to grow on the ground. Of course, I pulled that one over there, pulled it over some, but this is Super Red Hybrant. It fruited really good from dieback. This thing I have, the figs on this thing, these main crops, they'll be as big as my fist. Here's Calydon Gigantina. It's got some on it. My white Messiah, I didn't skip it. It ain't got a tremendous amount on it this year. This branch over here didn't even grow good. I'm probably going to prune it back. Here's Calydon Ramada. It's got quite a few figs. Black Madeira. Couple others. There's a Smith. All kinds of different stuff up through here. This here is Calodon mutante. It's got a few figs on it. I didn't think the figs very good last year. This year, even this is from dieback, guys. That makes me feel pretty good. And it's already got its low cordon going for me. I've been getting them tied down. There's a black Zadar. Got a few on that. Alright, this gigantic thing is YOLO's Bypass. And I do not know, it's starting to, it's got some double bumps on it. But I have not noticed any figlets, just something that looks like it's trying to become. Maybe, there you go. Just now getting there from dieback. It's really growed a bunch. Like I said, it's 8 foot tall, every bit of it. I mean, you look how big the growth is on that. YOLO Bypass. I don't know, I got good hope for it. I don't know why I keep putting up with it. Next one. This is Calodon bordeaux-sautinca. I put it in the ground this recently. Lateral. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of different stuff back here. All mostly 5-gallon trees. There's Boreal. Look at the fruit on Boreal. Kind of looking forward to that. It's got a bunch of fruit on it. Here's another. What is this one? Punjaw. It's got a bunch on it. Looking forward to that. Gambino's got some on it. This is Zarfiro. It's got a limb that doesn't look good. Must have broke or something. I don't know, they do weird things. Got plenty of other limbs. We got another one right there beside it. We'll just replace it with that. Zarfiro. This is my mutant. I've got a ball on it. But look at that. It's got figs on it. All over it. Look at that. Zarfiro. Some of these things kind of seem like, if you'll let them, they'll just kind of grow on the ground. This is Campaneri. Lots and lots of figs. Got none ripe yet. Waiting on you. Got an air layer on it. I've got a couple of these. So, Calodon Rajo. They're quite a ways long. They're pretty good sized figs. Especially when you look at this, it's called a Dom Negra. Right here. Which this is a little bit smaller. It's not quite as big a fig maybe as the Rajo. There's the Calodon Negra. There's the Calodon Rajo tree. The Long Day Out. This is the sick Long Day Out early on in the year. It ain't got a lot of figs on it, but it's got a few. It's gonna have a few. Heck, I figure if it just pulled out of that, whatever it had, it was a, I don't know. I took and washed all the soil off of it and just repotted it and fed it. And it come back. This is Delson Wamiron in ground. Well, there it is. Whole bunch of figs to pick between now and October 6th. Looking forward to eating as many as I can. Maybe pass a few off. We'll see. Thanks for watching.